Therefore, we come from different pasts. I come from, my wife likes to call me, I have the Opie lifestyle. And we live downtown Christopher. I lived out there kind of like Opie did, Opie Taylor. I had family all up down the street that owned businesses and had shops, and everybody in town knew me. But they didn't know me. They didn't know what was going on inside of me. And when Pat and I got together, as we got to know one another, we began to realize what a wreck this was heading for. It was a train wreck. You put two people with what they had going on in their past. This is a marriage that can't make it. And so, but I got to go into a meeting with a business that I worked for, and it was mandatory. And I found out that Zig Ziglar can assist you in suppressing your anger. And he can help you to modify your behavior. And so when I came home from that, my wife had a new husband. Something that we could work things out, and she thought she was happy again. And it wasn't long before I couldn't keep that suppressed, And so because of the backgrounds that we come from, there's reasons for those things, and I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to open up the box on any of my family members, But the bottom line is we all have a past, okay? And so, dealing with that past, I was talking with someone probably close to 10 years ago, and I was discussing with another minister, and he said, Dean, what your problem is you need to find love. You've got a great message to preach, but you need to find love. He said, he gave me some reference points to go find love, So I picked up, how many little Creflo Dollar? I picked up Creflo Dollar's book on love. I read the first chapter and I threw it away because he didn't know any more about love than I did at the time. That was 10 years ago. And that's my honesty. If you don't have it, you don't know it. I'm pitching your book. We'll go to the next one. Okay? Let's be real.
Right.
I mean, do you really want to know God, or are you it's just a nice place to hang out on Thursday night? For me tonight, I'm on assignment. The moment I was called, I'm on assignment tonight. Nothing's going to stop me from accomplishing my assignment tonight. And so that being said, time's not going to affect it. This night is bigger than just tonight. Okay? It's a big deal tonight. And so, being on assignment, I want to just talk to you about where I ended up, God took me. And I'm going to use this for a minute. I don't like using these. I'm old-fashioned. I don't like this because I hit a button and I'm somewhere else, How many of you that way? This thing drives me crazy. But I want you to try to go with me to, see there? I've already done it. Not Revelation, we're not going there. How about 2 Corinthians, chapter number 13. Praise God. I thank Jason for me so much for the opportunity to share tonight. And I just appreciate him and Sarah so much. I love them. I don't say that lightly. There may be people here that don't care much for me. I really don't care. I love them. I love them. I do. I'm telling you, every time you sing that song, His Great Name, there's something on that. You almost got to sing it twice tonight. Because I'm telling you, there's something on that. And I just love them so much, and I appreciate them so much for the life that they live, the ministry they built out here, and the word that they sow into your life every week. I'm telling you, awesome stuff. Watch what he says here. That's right. That's right. He's talking here. He says, if I could speak the tongues of angels, of men, and even of angels, that's not easy. even the one I want. I don't want. You just give me a minute. We're going to hit it.
We're going to run it here in just a second. All right, if I can speak
in the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I am a resounding gong, a clanging cymbal. If I have the gifts of prophecy, and he talks about all these different gifts. Now, I was in a Pentecostal church. That's what I grew up in. So we chased after the gifts. That was what you wanted. You wanted those 9 spiritual gifts working in your life. You wanted at least a couple of them. You couldn't have all of them, but you can have a couple. And that's how they taught us. And then you're chasing it. How many of you remember Tommy Tinney, chasing after God, being a God chaser? Some of you remember that. That was a big thing. I got involved in that, chasing after God. And then we want to chase after this. And every church here, you're chasing after grace. But I'm going to show you something today that will get you your grace. It will get you the grace of God. Because at the end of this, he says, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these things is love. Now, why is it that the faith camp, why are we chasing after faith? Why are we chasing after all these other things? When he says the most important thing, the primary thing, is love. When I got a hold of that, that's when I began to chase after love. Everything changed for me around that point. And about 10 years ago is when I started this chase. It's what brought me to the grace message. If you're trying to get to the grace message from any other avenue but by love. See, the Bible tells us that we get grace by faith. Okay? All right, so you've got to have faith to get grace. But what's the most important thing? Hope, faith, or love? Okay. So now we've got a priority. So if we're chasing after just grace, I'm going to show you something here. We can find ourselves, because there's only one thing that can heal the broken heart. That's love. I love that song. It means the broken heart to heal the wounded soul. Father of all heaven, I give you full control. To have your way in me, O Lord, to set my spirit free. If you're going to start revival, why don't you start it in me? See, here's the thing. Here's the deal. We can chase after the presence of God. We can chase after this and chase after that. But in everything that we do and everything God has planned for us in this life, he has a priority. And if we'll catch the priority and chase after the primary thing, all the others come with it. Hope is attached to love. Once I know love, I know trust. And once I know trust, then I can have a happy expectancy of whatever you tell me. God's telling me something, but I'm trying to work up a happy anticipation of an expected end. Hello? Am I the only one? We try to get all the powder pack messages we can get. We get the positive scriptures in front of us. We're trying to do everything we can. And yet, we're still struggling trying to hope for this thing. That's because the struggle lies not in our ability to hope. The struggle lies in our ability to trust. And trust is hinged to love. If I love, or if I am loved, I will trust the one who loves me. Hello? If you're struggling with trust, you're struggling with fear. And perfect love casts out fear so that we can have hope. And faith is nothing more, you can write this in your Bible quietly if it's a real good way to learn and a real good way to remember. What is faith? Faith is knowing God. As Papa, your daddy. You know him. Of the 3 brothers, we were all raised together. Of the 3, I'm the only one that took out time to know how Dad put his tools away for more reasons than just trying to please Dad. I knew that if I borrowed tools, I better put them right back where they belong and him never know I took them. That was the mindset as a young child. But as I grew up, I knew how Dad wanted things, and I know what Dad says, and I know how Dad acts. I know my father. Whether my brothers know him as well, I'm not sure. But I know my dad. And my dad then in turn can call me and talk to me about things he cannot talk to the others about. Because I know him, and he knows I know him, and he knows on what twist and angle he's talking, he knows I get it. You see? You can have that kind of a relationship with your heavenly Father. You can have such a relationship with him that he comes and talks to you about things he cannot talk to everyone else about. If you don't believe that, look at John. Peter turned to John and said, who's the one that's going to betray him? Why did Peter go? Why did Peter talk to John? Peter was a pretty super duper disciple. We count him as one of the super dupers. I mean, but yet he didn't have the secrets, did he? Who had the secrets? He turned to John. Why John? Because John had a relationship. And John had a relationship because he received his love. Watch this. John, you've heard this over and over again. I know I've been out here, Jason's preached it to me. And it's worth preaching again. John, chapter number 4, verse number 8. He that loveth, or he that, verse 10, I'm sorry. Herein is love. Why did I just break down? I got the gray hair, I can have the glasses. Here it is love. Not that we loved God. I remember in my living room one night when I was on the quest, I simply said to him, I don't love you. The moment I got that out, it was like a whole weight came off my chest. Because for years I tried to love him all my life. I was raised in church. I teed on the pew. All I ever knew was church life. And so one night I just said, hey, you know what? I don't believe. What do you think about that? You said that to God? He already knew that. He knew I was trying to love him with what I knew what love was, and the lower level of love called love him on earth. I was trying to love him with that. But I didn't love him with his agape love. It's not until I received his agape love that I was able to love him like that. And then, when I received that agape love, I was able to love others the same way. It's going to be real hard for you to get in my skin. It's going to be real hard for you to tell me the darkest secrets that you have in your heart, and you judge me. It's not because of me, it's because of the love that he is within me. Okay? That love holds no record of wrong. Go back to Corinthians chapter 13. It holds no record of wrong. It's patient. The first thing love is patient. You can ask my wife, I had no patience with anyone. And I wouldn't spend much time in front of you before I let you know I didn't have any patience with you. That was not a nice person. And we've got a lot of Christians out there who are not very nice people. And the only thing wrong with them is they have not received the love of God in that area of their life. But you know, if you're diminishing anything, you're having a problem with anything, you're having that thing you walk around the mountain on, and you just can't keep, seems like the trench keeps getting bigger or deeper. You know what I'm talking about? It's that cycle in your life, that thing you'd like to see gone. If that would go, you could really get close to God. Do you know what the only issue's missing there? You haven't received his love in that particular area of your life. It's not something you need to fix. It's not, matter of fact, you need to stop it. You need to make a vow right now. I'm not going to do another thing about that again. I'm not even going to try to do anything about that again. Matter of fact, I'm not, well, the next time I'm tempted, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Because I can't fix that. You're going to have to infuse your love into my life in that particular part. Watch what he says here. He said, herein is the love, not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation of our sins. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought to love one another. Now, when he says that, he's not telling you that you need to go out and start trying to love one another. He's telling you that if you have received his love, then you should be able to love. When someone or myself cannot love, the telltale sign is I've not received his love in that particular area. Now we're going to find out why, because we go right down here in verse 17, it says, herein is our love made perfect. Wouldn't you like your love to be made perfect? That's what I want. Well, how does that happen? Well, we jump down here and it says, we love him because he first loved us. That's how our love is made perfect. What happens when our love is not made perfect? It tells us in between. It says we have, the reason he wants our love to be made perfect is so that we have boldness, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. See, when I know that he loves me, man, I don't care what I have done, I know he holds no record of wrong, and I can go boldly before him at the throne of grace, and I can talk to him as if I never did what I just did.
Amen.
Why? Because, see, he found me, I didn't find him. He's responsible for me, I'm not responsible for me, I'm not responsible for him. What's going to happen is, as I live this life going boldly, knowing he loves me, perfect love, the grace of God will start flowing in my life and will teach me not and how not to do those things. And you know why I'm doing those things? Because in that area of my life, somewhere back there, I got broken. Now, if you go over to the Old Testament, they will tell you, who can mend a broken heart? Nobody can. Nothing but love can mend that. And it doesn't matter how much words you put into a broken heart. It doesn't matter how much attention you put into a broken heart. It doesn't matter how you turn the world upside down to try to make them happy. The broken heart can never get back, because it just keeps flowing through it and flowing through it and flowing through it. Doesn't matter how much love God pours in there, it just keeps flowing through and flowing through. And he'll keep pouring. But it just keeps flowing through and flowing through. And he tells us right here that the reason this is happening is that there's been a fear. And fear brings torment. I looked up that word torment, and torment means a penal infliction, which means an imprisonment. You're imprisoned to an infliction. It's a punishment, chastisement, a reserve for infliction, and it dwarfs you. It shrinks you down. It makes you less than who you really were created to be. Watch what else it does. Fear brings about insecurity. Now, I want you to understand something. When I'm talking about this, if you're seeing lights go off on the dashboard of your life, they're just lights. The engine hasn't stopped. Still got gas in the tank, but we need to pay attention to the lights. If we're feeling insecurity, if we're feeling fear, if we're feeling rejection, because insecurity comes about by rejection. Rejection comes about by an inability to love and an inability to give it. So when we see these lights on our dashboard of our life and they're flashing, sometimes they just come right on, stay on. We're going to have to check to see why we fear. Why are we afraid of commitment? I know pastors that won't get in relationships with people. I was afraid for years. If you came to High Point, I would be in my office with the doors closed, and as soon as the music started, I would start to venture out, because I did not want to see you. I had been hurt so many times by people, I did not want to talk to people. I just wanted to come out, preach the message, and then after the message, if I prayed for you, great, I'm in back that office. You're not going to hurt me anymore. I was afraid of being hurt. I was afraid of somebody saying something stupid again. I just got tired. I'm just trying to do what God's called me to do. Isn't that what you're trying to do? You want somebody to come beat you up every time you're trying to do what God's telling you to do? No. I'm just trying to give me some grace. Huh? See, here's the thing. You cannot love unless you receive love. You cannot give what you do not have. The greatest expression of ownership to anything is the ability to convey it, to give it over to someone else. And we can talk grace all we want to, but if you can't extend grace, all you are is just listening to grace. It's not going to be in your heart yet. Hello? Thank you for that. Amen. Hey, listen. And if you're having an inability to love, it's because with that agape love. See, that agape love holds no judgment. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome transformation. If you just allow God to love you, He'll heal the broken heart. He'll heal you, so you'll be able to contain the anointing. You'll be able to contain the love. You'll be a pitcher that pours out rather than a pitcher that just keeps poured in and it just never gets filled. And all you have to do to receive it, all you have to do is to just the way you receive your salvation. I said, God, how do you receive this? See, Jason gets us in. My message is how to walk this thing. And I said, God, how do you get love? I see your love. How do I get it? He said, well, how did you get salvation? I said, well, I believe in my heart and I confess with my mouth. He says, well, do you believe that I love you? I said, yes, I do. He said, then why don't you just start confessing it? And I read how John confessed it, and I just decided I'll just confess it the same way. And by faith, I took hold of that. And I just started telling everybody, you get on back then, as people do this sometimes, but you pick up my phone, my answering service, and my answering service would be, this is the little Debbie guy that Jesus loves. What John said all the time, you know. Hey, listen, I had a broken heart. I was pastor in church with a broken heart. I was trying to keep a marriage together with a broken heart. I was trying to love God with a broken heart. I don't know really when it happened, but one day, it came to life on the inside of me, and I just could not believe how I wasn't judging people like I once judged them walking down the aisle of the store. I couldn't believe how something happened to me. How many like that happened? I mean, how many, maybe it's already happened to you. Hey listen, I can have some more of that. I want some more of that, you know? Listen, it's just that easy. It's the gift of God to you. God is love. Amen? You're the one that Jesus loves. Turn to your neighbor and say, hey, if you're the husband or the wife, the friend, just tell them, give them the title. Say, hey, I'm the one that Jesus loves. Come on, you are the one that Jesus loves. Receive that love. Confess that love. Accept that love. Because when you do, there's going to be a self-worth that takes place on the inside of you that you never. That love had a price, and the price was the exchange of Jesus Christ for you. It's like going up the counter at the store. What's more precious to you, the money you're laying down for that coffee or the coffee you're buying? The coffee you're buying. God came to the table, and He laid down Jesus. Now that's a price. Until you know His love, you have to understand just what you're worth. That'll knock the poverty mentality right out of you. You stop thinking the way you used to about poverty and money and everything else. All of a sudden you begin to find out you're worthy. Amen? Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm worthy. I'm worthy. Jesus made me worthy. Jesus laid down His life willingly for me and made me worthy. Amen? Amen. That's all I had for you tonight. Say, Paul, I got done just like Jason done. You get that? You receive it? Listen, receive that letter. Receive it in Jesus' name.